We got to talk about what happened with this Captain America news yesterday.
We can do better.
A few weeks ago, a month, right around the time that massive Marvel expose came out about all the problems that were going on, and subsequently we've seen a bunch of different things, a bunch of directors be fired, a bunch of writers be fired, other writers be hired on, Daredevil completely scrapped from the beginning. One of the big things that got delayed was Captain America 4, Brave New World. Captain America movie without Captain America, probably not going to do good anyway.
You know what? You're right.
But we heard that it had been delayed significantly to rework some action sequences after some bad test screenings. But if you had listened to some other people, like Gary, for instance, you might have heard that it sounded a lot more significant than that. And when we heard they were going to allow 5 months for reshoots, then people certainly started asking the question, that's more than like principal photography. Are they going to remake this entire movie?
You have no idea how complicated this situation is.
Well, then the news comes out officially yesterday. Captain America Brave New World hires scribe Matthew Orton. Additional shooting plan for mid-2024. With plenty of time till its February 14, 2025 theatrical release, Marvel Studios' Captain America Brave New World has hired Matthew Orton to pen additional scenes and material.
Think about that.
So this is after we're told, it's just a bunch of action sequences we need to rework. Now we're hearing that in this 5-month time period, there's also going to be a lot of new shit. They hired a new writer to take this on. Gary, what's your take on this entire thing?
It's hilarious. This is hilarious. I guess the rumor going around, it was test screenings, and that, I guess that is technically true. The people who were watching them were testing it, but they worked there. Okay. And the people who worked there watched the work print and went, this is a total piece of crap. We have to go back to formula on this right now, just like they did with Daredevil. And the fact that it's happening, Garrett and I went to Comic-Con with Eric July, and we were told by somebody there that they're like revamping everything. They have understood that by the way, what we've said, none of their movies have been profitable. It has been such a disaster. Of course, they're not going to be public about this, but they are panicking behind the scenes. They got rid of Victoria Alonso. They've been quietly getting rid of more and more people.
Oh, and it's funny that people call it the X-Men. There's a lot of female superheroes in that X-Men group, so I think it's outdated.
Now we have a movie that is 5 months of shooting. It's about the same time that Deadpool 3 took for principal. So this is The Flash. They're reshooting an entire movie again. So imagine the budget on this thing, dude.
Ooh,
it's going to be unbelievable.
Bad. And this, I believe they filmed this in Georgia. So you're not getting that kickback from the UK stuff that they get sometimes. You're not getting that significant of a tax break.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
This is kind of like a double-sided thing. One, it's funny. It's funny that Marvel's continuing to flail around, but it also is an acknowledgement, right? It's an acknowledgement, just like we've talked about with some of these other things. They know they've been fucking up, and they know it's not sustainable anymore. Now that they're at a 15-year low point, the Marvels crashed and burned.
Black girl magic!
This is the lowest of the low. No one can deny it anymore. They can't be protected anymore. They're continuing to lose money hand over fist, and they can't do it. And they can't cancel it either, right? They can't shit can it. They can't shit can the Black Captain America movie. No. Are you kidding me? Of course they can't. Same reason they couldn't cancel Echo. You can't cancel something you virtue signaled so hard about.
You've got to do better, Senator.
So now they're in a place where they need to recreate this thing. With how old is Harrison Ford at this point? 80 years old. Get him back in there for another 5 months worth of reshoots. Get everybody back there.
I don't care.
I don't have any hope that they can fix it, but at least they're acknowledging that it's a pile of shit.
Basically, it was structurally. I certainly had the woke plot points in it, I guess.
I'm a black man carrying the stars and stripes.
It's going to be fascinating to see how hard this thing flops, because it will flop. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Deadpool 3 is not going to help anything with this unless they just absolutely fill it with every single likable Avenger, and I can't even think who's left.
Who brought a spear in here? I like it.
It's a total fabrication.
We have a Captain America still up against a Hulk villain, 2 Hulk villains with Betty Ross in it. So it's a Hulk movie without the Hulk.
It's a Hulk movie without the Hulk. It's a Captain America movie without Captain America.
Yes.
If they get the Avengers in there, it's going to be an Avengers movie without the Avengers, because it's going to be not even the B team at this point, the C or D team. I don't even know who technically makes up the Avengers team right now in current iteration of the MCU. I'm not sure.
Hi.
You'd think we could have addressed that at some point with all these Disney Plus series.
That's a good question.
Yeah, well, the reality is they probably don't want us to know the answer because it's probably, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange, I guess.
I don't think I care at this point. Like it's gonna be so terrible, and they're gonna have to bring back the old Avengers anyway in one way or another, except for Robert Downey Jr. But I think I know what they're probably leading to in this sequel. Sam Wilson as Black Falcon Captain America finally establishes a good credit rating by the end, and he'll be able to buy a boat.
He gets a loan. He's able to get a mortgage and get a house or something.
Now you know.
Maybe. He has to trade in his shield. He has to trade in the shield as collateral.
Yeah.
Something like that. That could be the plot point. Yeah, just a complete and total mess. And now the admission that it's way more than just a couple action sequences. You don't hire a new writer to like rework a couple action sequences that are already like pre-programmed, spat out by like an AI. That's
right. And if you want to completely lose hope, it's a Moon Knight writer. It's a writer from the Moon Knight TV show.
Hi.
They're really like just passing people around a circle, It's like, oh, Multiverse of Madness, you did that. Let's come work for this. All these things that have kind of got a lot of pushback, the writers just continue to get work on other different projects that intersect. And on one hand, that's a good thing if you have a connected universe, right? So these people can be familiar with it. But the truth is they're not familiar with any of it. The Multiverse of Madness writer didn't even watch WandaVision, had no idea what was going on with WandaVision. They'd be better off just going out and hiring someone who's not part of the MCU at all and is maybe actually a good writer. Maybe that's something crazy, unheard of, but maybe they should do that.
You know what? You're right.
They should, and I've heard they've tried, but the writers don't want to work with them. Weird. Really strange.
There you go. The writers don't want to work with people.
It's Hollywood, baby.
On one hand, we've heard a lot of it that your hands are tied, that they have so much kind of planned out already, like a skeleton of where they want to go. That you don't have a ton of freedom. We heard that from directors and writers.
We talked about this with the Marvels. If Nia DaCosta hadn't have said anything, if she had just like been out there going, I did the best I could with this movie, we'd probably sympathize with her. But she went and attacked the fans, so screw her. She gets what she deserves. She had to leave Marvels because it went so long. It was getting into the other contracted project that she had. I'm sure Harrison Ford is just beside himself with happiness.
Not really. Bro, he's going to be such a bitch on that set. Like, he hates doing anything, right? They probably had to give him so much fucking money just to convince him to do a Marvel movie. And now he's going to have to come back for 5 fucking months worth of reshoots. I'm sure he's pissed.